Ecoalf nació con ese fin. Recogemos los plásticos que hay en los océanos, que hacen tanto daño al clima, y los convertimos en ropa, zapatos, bolsos, etc. Aparte de convertirlos en ropa, es ropa que es además muy vanguardista.
Our customers come back because we guarantee them the best quality for the lifestyle they live, because Ray is not just a brand but also a lifestyle.
The reason why I shop sustainable brands is because I know just from like a small point, I'm reducing waste and that's being sent to landfill if I'm buying fast fashion. And also, I know I'm making like a small difference in my carbon footprint and I have a positive conscience regarding it. Whereas like if I'm buying constantly fast fashion and it's being thrown out, I know I'm doing something bad to the environment. And again, it's like at a small point, but it ends up leading
I do it because of my personal values. If anything, I think it's inconvenient to look for sustainable clothes because once upon a time they were hard to find. Now they're easier to find since brands are trying to catch up on the consumer demand. But I personally do it because of my personal values. I personally do shop at sustainable brands, or at least brands that are very transparent about how they manufacture their clothes and have a very transparent supply chain.
I feel like I think about that's where all fashion's going. I feel like in the next like 10 years, like majority brands will be like fully sustainable or like have a lot of sustainable aspects to it. And if like they don't, then they'll have like a really hard time competing in the industry.
Have you seen a rise in the amount of brands that market themselves as sustainable?
I feel like yes and no. Probably yes, because I like care a lot about sustainability. So I'm always like Google searching it. So like those advertisements will just like come up for me. But I also feel like it's easy to like say a brand's like sustainable, like Reformation, for instance, but like they don't really like clarify in their advertisements like how they're sustainable, because people think like just because their fabrics are made out of like certain fibers that are good for the earth that it's sustainable, but it still like creates waste.
I think sustainability will be around for a long time due to the fact like you have social media playing a huge factor in bringing awareness into it. Brands are becoming more socially conscious about the fabrics that they use, and people just overall seem to care more. Beforehand, no one was knowledgeable about sustainability, and now you have all these important people influencing the idea of sustainability, so I think that plays a huge factor.
I think about fashion being the second most polluting industry in the world, and yeah, that's pretty much.
I feel like just financially, right off the bat, like the idea is like, yes, I want to participate like in slow fashion, but just financially, it's not in my budget personally, so I do have to go to like more fast fashion. So yeah,
that surrounds fashion, and at the moment there really isn't. No one's really giving thought into like what happens to garments after their purchase. So yes, people are doing like more cotton and organic fibers and stuff for the pieces, but no one cares about what happens to them after.
Do you personally care
to shop at sustainable brands because I believe that they're making a positive change, but now I've stopped caring so much because I believe, well, since moving to a big city, they just throw the word sustainable on everything, and it just doesn't feel real anymore. It's just really overwhelming when you go into any shop and they brag about being sustainable. So I've sort of gone back to my old habits and just shop at normal shops.